Now, how about South Carolina, Stephen? I think the offense, I mean, Marcus Satterfield was kind of not only on this show, but many shows, kind of a running joke. But hey, they put it together. Let's give them credit to the tail end of the season. You could kind of go a lot of different ways with this grade, but I'm going to give them a C plus. Maybe would have even been a D if not for the last couple weeks. Maybe you could go even higher. I think Spencer Rattler, very obviously very inconsistent. Juice Wells emerged as one of the best, most improved, or not improved because he wasn't there last year, but just kind of the biggest newcomer to the SEC. So a lot to improve upon, but I saw enough to like the future of South Carolina. So that's why I'm giving them a C plus. What's your grade for the offense?
Same here. As the president of the Marcus Satterfield fan club, I feel the need to defend my C plus. In all seriousness, I think had if South Carolina played offense like they did in the last three games more throughout the season, this would be a B plus or maybe even an A. Think we have to give Satterfield and that staff a little bit of credit. It took some time. I think you got a new quarterback, you've got new pieces at receiver. You have to blend it all together. Still, I think like we talked about during the season, why did it take until late November for all that to take place? You'd think maybe, okay, it's okay for a couple games, but the fact it took in game 11, 12, 13 doesn't really make sense. So I gave him a C plus. I think just too little, too late, like the ending, but would have liked to have seen it earlier in the year.
Now, how about the defense, Stephen? This was a tough one for me to grade, but I gave them a C. I mean, at times they were pretty stout. Other times, they I think of the Missouri game, Georgia. Of course, Georgia wrecked everybody. Even Tennessee, which their offense got so much praise. Hell, and Tennessee's defense showed up. Maybe Tennessee won that game because I believe they scored 38 points. So anytime you give up that many points and you win the ball game, that's kind of surprising in the SEC. So I also think that they were kind of held back a little bit. They have some nice pieces, a really good corner, some good linemen, but very thin. So maybe I'm being a little harsh, but I gave South Carolina's defense a C.
Personally, I don't think you're being harsh because I'm going to match you. I hate to be boring and give you the same grade, but I had him as a C as well. I even considered a C minus. I think the first word that popped into my mind about South Carolina's defense was just solid. And I kind of struggled to figure out like, okay, what did they do really well this year? Like, where are the strong points? And it took a little bit to come to mind. And I think when you go back and look at last year's numbers, the same thing kind of plays out. Issues against the run, better against the pass. I think we'll have to see how they fill in some of those voids in the front seven going into next year with some of the losses that they had through the portal or just through seniors leaving. So I think solid probably sums it up 28.8 points a game in SEC play. So I think C is pretty appropriate.